All right. What's today? July. November
I wish it was
21st.
July.
I know, right?
I wish it was July.
And we're not getting all this snow. No, November 21st. And Joe's going to talk to us about his experience at the retreat.
Okay, so I was telling Brooke, it was like, I don't know, it's kind of like a couple like cool things like hit and merged at the same time. I mean, one, I was reading like probably the best personal development book I've read. And I know I say this every time I read, like the next one is always the best one. It really is the best one. It's the 10X Rule. It's just so cool. Especially chapter 16. I mean, a lot of people told me like chapter 6 was it, but chapter 16 was really it for me. And I'm almost through the book. I only have two more chapters left, although they're like wicked long, the last two chapters. But anyway, chapter 16 was all about like fear and how you have these fears that you might not even know about, and they cause you to delay um, important tasks that you know you just push aside because you're like, oh, I want to prepare more, or I'm not ready to do this, and then you start to focus on other things, thinking that you're just preparing to make it perfect. And that was like me with inviting. It really, it's not that it made me nervous to invite, but I wanted everything to be so perfect that it was just sort of like that slam dunk. And then so I would just keep like writing and rewriting what I was going to say, like in a Word document or something, and never getting around to actually sending it. And at the end of the day, I would just get sidetracked and refocused on something totally different than what I was planning on doing, and just spiraling into that cycle. And the next day, I would just do it all over again. And instead, it's really like the old Nike saying, you just got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the quotes in the 10X Rule is, nothing happens without action. And that is so true. I mean, I can rewrite and rewrite and rewrite the most perfect script. And it didn't matter because if no one ever reads it, it doesn't matter. Like nothing will happen. Right. But, an invite doesn't have to be perfect. What it has to be is just true to what you are. So what I've been thinking about is that I love these products for what they did for me. And all I want to do is share that with other people.
Hey, Janice.
Hey, Janice.
Hey, I had to mute it because the kids are loud.
That's okay. Joe's
How
just
are you guys?
good. How are you?
I'm good.
Joe's just kind of talking about his
experience.
Kind of his experience, but it's kind of like his revelation since going to the retreat.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on mute just because they pop up and
that's okay.
On.
That's okay.
Okay.
So the long and the short is that I mean, this chapter 16 and the 10X Rule was all about me, and I would just sit there and I would delay sending invites because I wanted them to be perfect. And they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be true to your heart and why you love the products that Beachbody offers, and how they change your life, and how they can change any prospect you're working with's life.
And I think it's easier, don't you agree, Joe? Like it's easier to invite when you feel like you're just genuinely sharing this opportunity and like inviting people to join you. I think when you overthink it and you overthink it and you get nervous and then you start feeling salesy, and that's when it's not genuine, and that's when it's hard because you don't want to do it because it's salesy and slimy.
Yep, and that's why I don't want to be
that mindset of like you're really, truly, genuinely just trying to help people the way that your coach helped you. Then it flows so much easier.
Yep.
And it takes time. You can't really teach that to somebody. They have to kind of experience it for themselves. So I agree.
And the other revelation I had too was that, and I keep telling myself this, but it just didn't sink in, is to not have prejudice when it comes to the people that you're connected with. And like like continued to do it and like say, oh, I don't want to invite him because he was always really athletic and he probably doesn't need this.
Totally.
And I would just move on. But it's funny, like if you take all of my Facebook friends all together and just rank them, if I actually rank them truly as to who like would be the most likely to want this and who would be the least likely, there'd be one person who I would have put in the bottom 5%. And while I was down in Florida, I made a post about how the bartender didn't believe my ID was real. And either that night or the next morning, that this person who I would have put in the bottom 5% commented on that post saying that I'm motivating him to start exercising and to keep going. And that was cool. I was never really friends with this person in high school. I mean, we weren't really not friends. We would, didn't really connect in high school. He was always athletic. And like, I just figured he wouldn't ever need this. And so I just, after that comment, I looked at it and I said, what am I doing? Why am I doing something that I know is wrong, which is, not sharing this opportunity with everybody. And so I mustered up the courage to reach out to him, and he's interested. And we're going through the process of getting to know each other and sharing the information. And hopefully I'm able to help him.
That's awesome. I follow the rule of thumb that if you would be upset if this person joined with another coach as a challenger or joined somebody else's team as a coach, if you would be pissed about that, then that means you need to invite them. Mm-hmm. Because how are they going to know that you have this opportunity for them unless you invite them? I mean, you just said, didn't you just say this guy was pretty athletic in high school?
Yeah.
So maybe, not that you have to be athletic in high school to be a good coach, but maybe he'll be a great coach. Yeah. And imagine if you just had, judge a book by its cover or whatever, and you didn't invite him, and he ended up being like a 10-star coach on somebody else's team, and you like just kicked yourself for not messaging him. Like, how pissed would you be? Sorry, I get really into this. Yes. If you think that person might be interested, and you would be upset if they had a Facebook post in a week that says, guess what, I just joined with such and such a team, and you'd be pissed, then that means you should be inviting them.
Absolutely. So, and that question goes for anyone right now that I'm currently connected with.
Right.
So, so I'm like wiping the slate clean. Mm-hmm. Except for my mom. I'm not going to pressure my mom anymore. But, so, all right. So that was personal development, like a lot of that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even the trip. So the trip was like super cool. So I'm going to say this like a million times. Get your asses to live events.
I will definitely be there.
Start with a Super Saturday. There are other coaches on Team Bloom in your area. I guarantee it. Janice, you live in New York. There's like a billion coaches in New York. No excuse. Erica, you have me and Brooke. No excuse. Megan, I'm not sure where you live yet. You don't have any excuse.
From Kentucky.
From Kentucky.
Yeah.
I love your accent, by the way.
I do too.
Thank you.
Because it's the only one on this call that's crazier than mine. But anyway, well, actually, I shouldn't say. I'm not even sure if we have another coach in Kentucky, but you know what? There are other coaches. There are Super Saturdays in Kentucky, and other beach party coaches, even if they're not on your own team, are cool. So go to live events. Start with a Super Saturday. Summit should be non-negotiable. You have to get to Summit. I went last year for the first time. It was super cool. I've also done a couple other events. I did men's live event in Dallas in May, and I did the Team Boom Retreat last week. So Team Boom Retreat was super cool because these are the people you're friends with on Facebook. you get to know on the team call, just from them talking or talking, you talking to them and commenting on your post, reading their posts. It's like, you know them before you've actually met them. But then when you go down there, there's no uncomfortable period. As soon as you step foot into their sites, it's like a big hug and, hey, how's it going? It's great to finally be in the same space as you.
Yeah.
And we are a team. So the coolest thing about this was that, even though like your tasks, you're inviting, you're posting, a lot of that's individual. But you kind of like, at least for me, like at times you kind of feel like you're doing this alone. But when you go to these live events, you're not doing it alone, because all of these team members, some of the biggest rock stars on our team, like Ashley Feldenston and Carolyn Nathan, and of course Pat Realman, are just dropping free advice on you for the entire trip. They're there to help you, even if you don't like contribute to their downline. They're there to lift you up, motivate you, and give you that feeling of being part of a team. And I don't know about you, some people, love working by themselves. I haven't met too many Beachbody coaches that fall into that category. The vast majority of us are team players and just thrive within a team. And when you get that team's like feeling, you don't want to let your team down. You want to be there, helping as many people as you can and just being part of the team. You're making the rest of them proud, to be on your team, and you're proud to be on their team. So that was, really, for me, the biggest takeaway that I got was that I am part of something so much bigger. And I've made connections with a lot of non-Team Boom coaches, and I'm not saying that this culture doesn't exist on other teams. I know there are a lot of other teams that have great cultures, but there are a lot of other teams that don't. And we are very fortunate to be on Team Boom. This is one of the best teams, if not the best, to be around. Because we have that team culture. I've had some people that say that their upline doesn't even really talk to them. And there's no real training and support, and no one's willing to help. And I'm not sure about that at all. Some of that definitely goes on to the individuals.
But I think that's a lot of the the doing of the Realmans, and the way that it was kind of created. It was created by a family of 5, and so that family dynamic just trickles down, I think, which is I think really special and unique to Team Boom. So I agree.
So, and the opportunities are just there. Pat invited me to go to Vegas next week, and so I'm going to go to the Vegas event, the GoPro event, with Eric Worre and Tony Robbins and Sir Richard Branson and others. It's going to be an amazing event. A lot of knowledge about network marketing, which I'm still not super familiar with and are comfortable with, like the ins and outs of network marketing. So it's a lot of nuts and bolts training, I guess. But a lot of that's needed in terms of improving the way you connect with people and the way you reach out and the way that you establish trust with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that event as well. So,
Yeah.
But I just can't get enough of you, Team Boomers.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about the event in Vegas. But yeah, that sounds great. I definitely want to. So it was a little different this year in terms of the retreat, because it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it supposed to be?
In Nicaragua.
Nicaragua, I thought so. And it was
but it fell apart for some reason. So
Yeah.
they switched it and they put it into Delray Beach, Florida, which is where Pat lives.
So I think that's why some people might have been confused, is because it was supposed to be this much different, bigger, more expensive thing. And so I think a lot of people were thinking they probably couldn't go because it was an investment financially and it was going to be like a 9 or 10-day thing. And then that fell through. And then that's when it actually ended up being in Delray where Pat lives. So that's why I think maybe some people on our team might have been confused because it all of a sudden, like, there was this retreat happening and they didn't really know much about it. So next year.
It was really well organized. So, I mean, we started off like doing our volunteering with Habitat for Humanity. It was an amazing day. I mean, we did a lot of dirty yard work, ripping up a veteran's lawn and helping put in a sprinkler system and then putting down the new lawn. And, you know, just the look on his face and how happy he was. We also did a lot of yard cleanup on his neighbor's yard, and his neighbor's also a veteran.
Wow, that's
That
sweet.
was pretty cool too. You know, it was just awesome to give back. We had a lot of fun. We did a mannequin challenge, which was pretty cool. So, and then after that, it just continued with the team aspect. The team bonding was really cool. It was cool hanging out with Megan Davies and getting to know her a lot better. I know I sat and talked to her like for over an hour myself, so that was
So
pretty
Megan Davies, if you don't know, she's the new Beachbody celebrity trainer. And so she can't be a coach because she's a celebrity trainer. So who's George? Is that her husband or is that her dad or her brother?
George is her father, and her father is a coach. I'm trying to think. No, I'm sorry. Eric is her boyfriend, and Eric is a coach under Pat.
Okay, yep.
I might be getting this reversed. Eric and George. Eric is a boyfriend. George is her father.
Yeah, because his last name is Davies.
One is signed up under the other, and
Because
that
George is at the top of
person's
George is at the top of the Success Club board.
Yeah.
So I knew who they must
Yeah, George is. I think I want to say George is signed up under Eric, and Eric is signed up under Pat.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
But, you know, hanging out with Megan, she's just Earth. She doesn't even realize she's a celebrity yet, and it was just really cool to hang out with her. She loves Team Boom, so it's pretty cool. I even got to do my own personal Joe and Megan mannequin challenge together.
That's fun.
I haven't posted that video yet, but I want to make sure I do it right.
I'll definitely be there next year. So, and for people who will listen to this recording and might not know too, so Summit is, and Megan might not be aware either, Summit is like Beachbody's corporate, really big event every year. They have it every summer. The past 2 years it's been in, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank, Nashville. And next year we're going to New Orleans. So Joe has a ticket, I have a ticket, Erica has a ticket, Janice has a ticket, and Pam has a ticket. So that's pretty exciting that we're all going to be there. And we are looking and hoping that more Huddle members will think about attending with us. I'd love to get like Megan there, Jamie, Tara, Alex, Robin, whoever wants to come. There's tickets. The tickets are not like last year they were waitlisted by now. They're not waitlisted by now because I think the reason why we moved from Nashville to New Orleans is that it's a bigger area, a bigger arena, so that we can accommodate more coaches, which is why there's not a waitlist quite yet. And I have 5 hotel rooms right now, so we have plenty of hotel rooms. We have plenty of hotel rooms for people who want to jump on board. Pretty much all of Team Boom is staying in one hotel this year, which is really freaking cool. In Nashville, we were kind of all over, but literally, like, Team Boom is taking over this one hotel in New Orleans.
Where was it again? I forget.
So like a DoubleTree.
It's a DoubleTree. That's right.
DoubleTree, yeah. So that'll be pretty cool.
I totally forgot.
I think last year there was like 25,000 or 30,000 Beachbody coaches there. It's a huge event. As it gets closer, you sign up for, you register for the, like the live speakers who you're going to go see and the live workouts that you're going to do, so that they can all stay organized because there are so many people. So within Team Boom, we'll all try to get on the same track, which means like the same sessions and so forth. But then we meet up at night and in the morning for dinner and breakfast, and we have a huge Team Boom party with only Team Boomers on Friday night. And it's really, really, really fun because you know that being there, you're not going to know everybody. You're only going to know a few people, but you feel more comfortable talking to the other people because at least you know that they're on Team Boom. So you're like, hey, my name's Brooke. Oh yeah, I kind of recognize you. Oh yeah, you were that guest speaker that time, so it's like all these people, like Joe was saying, you feel like virtually, it's kind of weird. It's like, hey, Janice, like we've been friends forever. We're on the same team, but I've never actually met you in person. So it's like, you're hugging and it's like it's so fun. It's just so fun.
It's a weird feeling though. And the funny thing is the way you're feeling to somebody is the way they're feeling to you. Like you walk in, you're like, oh my God, it's like so and so.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, it's like you.
Yeah.
It's almost like
so fun.
Celebrities meeting for the first time.
It's the best thing ever. So that I can only imagine that retreat is that much more fun because it's like this awesome live event, but it's that much more personal. It was really personal. It was just really well done. And we did a scavenger hunt, so we broke up into like teams of 4. So I got to hang out with people that, I've never really hung out with before, including, I think my team was Ashley, Kelly, and April. And we just had an awesome time going all around Delray trying to get like pictures of like weird stuff. And just working together as a team, it was just really cool. And then you get these, when you go to these live events, especially like Summit and I can imagine Retreat, you just get this like fuel, it really fuels your fire, and you really like come back from these events like feeling like you're on top of the world and you're going to conquer anything with this business. And so that's why we say live events are so important, because you are alone a lot on one side of the computer, although you're virtually with everybody else, but it's seeing these people in person and talking to them in person. And like Caroline Nathan is number 44 in all of Beachbody and she's on Team Boom. Like that's fucking cool. You like Joe said, you're going to get these like one-on-one snapshot times, like while you're waiting in line at the bar, while you're at the pool, just like chilling with Caroline Nathan, like.
And the coolest thing about Caroline is that, in talking with her, like we were kind of in the same like boat, really. Like when she went to Boom, she, in her own words, did nothing for like over a year. And then all of a sudden she went on this very retreat, and she was really nervous to go on that retreat. And she was down, apparently we were in the same hotel, or she was in the same hotel that we were in, and same location and everything. And she would see people on Team Boom that first night, and was like, "Oh, like there's Annie Wallace, and there's Amy Reilman. I don't want to talk to them," and just run back into the elevator. And then she called Pat and everything. Pat just sort of like brought her to the group and introduced her and everything. And she told me that's when it connected. Like that very trip was when it connected for her, and then she went back and just started killing it.
Yeah.
And for me, I was struggling. I was doing really well at the beginning when my warm market was going, and then my warm market went dry, and I kind of lost confidence, and I started making excuses about not having time. And it's true, I'm busy, but what was really the truth, the fact that I didn't have time it's just an excuse. Real reason was that, I was, afraid, I guess, and not, wanting to make sure that everything was perfect. And then I would lose focus, and then I would waste time. It's not that I don't have enough time. I just wasn't utilizing my time the way I needed to be.
Right.
And this trip, hopefully, early signs are good. I came home and signed a coach. That's pretty cool. And I haven't done that in quite a while. So I don't know. I believe in coincidences.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's definitely not a coincidence. But now I just have to keep this going, because the other side is you do get a lot of fuel from these trips, but if you don't do anything with it, that fuel will run dry pretty quickly.
Right.
And, I was pumped after Summit, but I didn't do what I needed to do after Summit for that long. I think I signed a coach at the beginning of August, and then I started to run dry a little bit, and that was it. But I didn't do what I needed to do, and then that motivation ran dry. And that's what I need to avoid this time. Right now, I'm still excited. I probably have about 6 or 7 people interested now in challenge packs, but I'm not just going to focus on those 6 and 7. What I need to do in the next couple of days is make that, 12 to 14 people, and then continue to follow up with them, but then make that list instead of 12 to 14 people, make it, 18 to 20 people, and then just continuously growing that list, knowing that, those original 6 to 7, none of them ultimately decide to join or join a challenge group or become a coach or anything. And you just need to continue to add to that group so that you always have that large pool of people that you're talking to and building the relationship and building trust with.
Totally. I agree. Megan or Janice, do you guys have any questions?
I kind of do.
Yeah.
But I feel like I already know the answers to it. But I am feeling like what Joe has been feeling before, where I guess I'm just scared. Like, I know what I have to do. I know what I did before. I know it worked before. But I went through my warm market. I got a lot of no's from the rest of my warm market. And now I'm just sitting here like, I'm a sucky ass coach. But I know it's not true. I just know that it's like that voice in my head, so...
Janice, I have messed up about every single possible way you can mess up.
I'm just
stuck.
Just
keep moving forward.
Are you sending?
And don't worry about no's. Literally, go back to people.
And it's like I go in expecting that no. I'm like, all right, what's the worst thing? It's a no, whatever. But I feel like because I wasn't doing my follow-ups, now I have to go all the way back and, build these relationships again and, follow up. But I've been getting with this 7-day, with the 7-day boot camp, we're calling it.
Yeah.
For the group with, what is it? The November 1st to 30 success. It's been just because we put boot camp in there. Everyone's like, what is this? I want to know more about it. And I'm getting good responses because it's free. So I'm like, maybe this is going to get me back to where I was before, but I just had that fear of not wanting to start and not wanting to go back and try to build these relationships that I kind of let, fade away. And it's like this girl again in my DM sliding up in here trying to, and I'm like, I have to. Yeah, and I know that it worked for me before. But just like you were saying in the beginning of the call, it's when you're genuine and you actually believe in the programs and you actually believe in, what you're doing, that's when it works out. Because that's when I was feeling okay doing it. But now that I'm like, all right, well, I haven't been so consistent with my healthy eating. How am I supposed to, sell myself as a coach and let someone know that I can do it with them? But this boot camp has helped me. The 5-day water challenge I did, it went on for 2 weeks, and that helped me build those relationships.
Perfect.
And I just have to keep connecting with people.
You need to set like a goal. You need to set like a goal for yourself. You should be like reconnecting with like 15 people every day.
Yeah. And that's, that's exactly what it is. It's just reconnecting with people and like starting from basics. Cause now I'm like, I have to go all the way back down to like the bottom of my friend list and like start over again.
Yeah, just do it.
And I'm looking at my friends list and I'm like, when I first started, it was okay because I had like 150 friends, but now I have 500 and plus friends and I'm like, what the hell? How am I supposed to do this? And I'm just overwhelmed. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed. But just like Joe said, like there is time. We can sit here and make excuses and say we're too busy, but there is time. I'm just not utilizing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared.
But don't overthink it.
And that's where I go, yeah. Like I'm just
keep it simple.
Yeah.
Like my issue was like I was like watching like people like Trey Bear or Trip Knowles.
Yeah.
super cool videos.
And comparing myself is what I was doing.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Be simple and be quick.
Yeah.
The best posts you can write are the ones that people will read.
Yeah, and that's what I was
Not the
doing.
ones that, like, and I'm trying not to like write any more like super long novels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People don't want to read them. People will sit there and go, "Oh, it's another long."
Yeah, another long post, right?
Even if they click like, they might not even have read it.
Mm-hmm.
At the bottom, I'm trying to like get my point across and just be simple. I don't care if it's just a basic selfie. I mean,
That's what I've been doing too.
Open it and look at it, but try to be simple. And the other thing is, don't focus on the outcome. Don't sit there and say, I need the 2 success points. I need 6 success points. I want to be in Success Club this month. Focus on providing value to people every day.
That's where I went like completely. That's when it all changed for me, was when I was like,
So,
well,
write it down. Like, I have it right here. Like, give value without expectation. Right on my board. I look at it every day.
yeah.
I have all these little things that remind me of what I need, like just my mindset.
Right.
Because your mindset can change from day to day if you let it just wander and you're like, oh, it's getting close to the end of the month. Like right now.
Yeah.
I have 2 Success Club points and I have 9 days left.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time, I'm like not completely panicked about it. Like I would just sit there and start, like once we get past like the 15th of the month and I have either 0 Success Club points or 2, I would start freaking out.
That's how I was.
Yeah. I need to make Success Club. And you know what? And anytime I did that, I didn't make Success Club.
Exactly
So
what I
right
was.
now, like I'm sitting there and at the end of the day, like I'm certain I'm gonna make it. But I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
If I don't, who cares? The bottom line is I've got 9 more days left in this month to provide people with value.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and whether somebody takes like a video of mine or a post and says, like this morning, I did a post of this challenge, and that post because I was actually telling the customer, one of my longtime customers, I've been focusing on her every single day to get her back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Great with her nutrition, and she's been doing great with her drinking Shakeology, but she's been working out maybe once or twice a week, and so I bumped up my communication. I was in a period of communicating with her once or twice a week. Now I'm communicating with her daily, and I figured out the program that she likes the best. And so she's doing that program, and I gave her the 90-day calendar, and I said, you return this calendar to me with a 90-check.
Yeah. I have to do that too. I would like, because they do, my past challengers do hit me up, and they're like, I can't get back on. And, I know that they feel bad when they, I guess miss a day or two and they don't want to answer my text messages or, for a while. And I'm like, well, none of my challenges had like success that they, can sit here and say, well, Janice was a great coach. So I kind of feel like, well, maybe I am a sucky ass coach.
You're not a sucky ass coach.
Yeah, I know I have to stop telling myself
coach
that.
Who needs more confidence in herself.
Yeah. So I'm just.
Remember, I have messed up, I think, any possible way that I could have possibly messed this up in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Janice, are you doing PD?
Yeah, I am. I love Shanti. I feel like Shanti is like my inner Janice. Like, he's like me. Like, I love his snaps. I love listening to his podcast. Like, he's just, I don't know. I feel like he is me in like male form, So he's been helping me like with the trust and belief. Like, I put it everywhere, trust and belief, because that's like his slogan, but I guess because I don't have challenges that have success, I feel like, well, what the hell, but I know it's just me just making excuses, and I need to just start from basics.
Hey, Janice, check out my snaps today.
Okay.
All right?
I ranted on my snaps, so I haven't
I did
looked
a
at it.
whole series of snaps just tonight. about an hour ago about excuses.
Okay. Because
And I actually did
I'm
that.
like full of excuses because I'm so scared. I'm like, what am I scared of? Like, I looked back at a journal I had from like when I first started coaching, and I was like, who is this person? Like, I completely, let her down right now. So I would never have thought what I'm thinking now then, So I'm like going back and I'm like, all right, I have to remember that girl that I made promises to. And I gotta really have to get serious and make the time.
Yeah. All right. This thing says we have less than a minute, so I don't want to get kicked off. I personally am going to go bust out as many invites as I can because once like Wednesday hits, people aren't going to want to hear from you for a couple of days, So I'm trying to do a bunch today, a bunch tomorrow, and then follow up Friday, Saturday for this. So I'd encourage you guys.
I'm gonna Facebook friend request on like Thanksgiving instead of just invites because at least if you do the Facebook friend request, they'll just sit there and people can choose to invite them or not. But like Brooke said, no one's going to be responding on Thanksgiving.
Right. All right. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Janice. Thanks, Megan, for being on. Ask us any questions and keep doing what you're doing.
Feel free to reach out. Reach
Yeah.
out to me if you have any questions because again, like I screwed up any possible way. And I figured each one of my screw ups, I figured out with the help of this lady over here in the upper left corner.
You did what?
I figured out like a solution to all my screw ups with the help of this lady in the upper left corner. Yes, that's you.
I love you guys. All right. Have a good night.
Good night, guys. Thank you, Joe.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.